Hey, just seems appropriate to just keep going. So I'm back today. That's a good one there. That's a good cup. It's about 1:39, 1:40 in the afternoon on Wednesday, the 12th of February, and I will chat a little bit music because I am celebrating all that's going on with me, and and so I went ahead and went to the record store with a specific goal in mind. The new Wire Mind Hive. I just got back from the store buying this about an hour ago. I love the band Wire and have since the get-go. I I had it live at the Roxy, and that they was as cool as that album is. The Wire tracks on that really stand out, and it's like, yeah, those. That's one of those mini records I truly admit regretting that I sold them. I regret it because they are so hard to come by. But Wire are so consistent. They are still brilliant at what they do. This new album is really good. There are a couple of new twists, but not. They're not new. It's more like, okay, 154 is considered by many, and I agree with them. The W's are right here. Their masterwork. It really is a fantastic album. And coming from a band that these coming from a band that arose out of the punk scene, although they weren't a punk band, this album is very progressive. Lots of sonic adventures going on in this, and the songwriting is just top notch on here. So that, the use of keyboards and other electronics on here, it sounds fresh again because it sounds like, oh wow, they're doing something new. But no, actually, no, this ain't nothing new. Great album. I have some other records sitting I'm going to talk about, but I didn't pull all my Wire, but here's some more that I got. This is one I love, A Bell is a Cup, all the way through. Okay, those got pulled. I am so rough on stuff. That's why these plastic sleeves are like, because I just jam them in. Chairs Missing. This is just amazing. My band Digital Sex, we used to cover off of here, Sand in My Joints. Yeah. And we did another by them. We put them together. Pink Flag. Oh man, this is just amazing, actually. 12XU. We did 12XU as well. We would put those two together. And then right before the Wire, and alphabetically, we have Paul Winter. I have several, but this one got pulled. Edgar Winter's first album, Entrance. Have you ever heard this album? Wow. Wow. Have you ever heard this album? It's a badass album. You've never heard it, I bet. Paul Winter, the Winter Consort. These are all mashed up together. I don't play the Paul Winter records very often, but let me tell you, the music is so vibrant that when I do get in the mood for it, it is like drinking from a fresh stream of water. There is something honestly wholesome, I'll use the word. There's something, but it's an honest wholesomeness about this man's music. There's something about, I can just feel the man's heart is really open. I have more Wire, but I'll just show those. Related, and I had pulled this, seeing something online, and I looked to make sure I still had it. by Bruce Gilbert, Graham Lewis, and then also Russell Mills, the artist. This is the sound of an installation they did at Waterloo Gallery. And it's 1982. And it's a one-sided. It's not music. It's sound. It's these sounds that they put together for an art installation. But I went ahead and listened to it today because, it's something I've had forever and forgot kind of about. I really love, like I said, I really liked Wire, so I got deep into. I have a bunch of their stuff, Dome, Cuphole, bunch of stuff because it's all good. I mean, these guys are really good. He Said, yeah, that's related. The other thing I want to try to remember to recognize is that today, among many other people's birthdays, is Steve Hackett of Genesis. 70 years old. I'm old myself, but it's like this music and the way it affected my life and when it affected me, it's like to this day, it transports me back to my youth, and those guys, even though I'm following them and seeing them in real life, with me growing old, there's this eternal pull of the music of Genesis and Steve Hackett and others like that in my life. I have some Steve Hackett. Don't have all Steve Hackett. I have this much that I can show. He has a bunch, and I've got more on CD that I don't have on vinyl, but I don't have his latest albums at all on the vinyl. He's put out a bunch, and I do like them, but this one, it came out, Voyage of the Acolyte, it was like this was golden. It was like this is a Genesis album that Genesis didn't make. It basically was Genesis without Peter Gabriel and Tony Banks. This is likely my second or third copy of the album. Please Don't Touch, where he works with, this album is groundbreaking, and Steve has talked about it, where, he crosses some lines with black artists in prog rock, what's her name? Randy Crawford, like this was one of her debut major recordings. Richie Havens on here. You know what I'm saying? That raised some eyebrows, And Steve's all about being real in the music. Steve has always had my deepest respect. I've seen Genesis with Steve Hackett twice for sure. I've seen Genesis 6 times. Twice for sure with Steve Hackett. I do get the mix, sometimes. Defector. I do still play these sometimes. Spectral Mornings. I love the stories that he's told on Rock Music History, this channel that is out of Canada. He's been doing a series of interviews with a lot of different interviews. Thankfully, Steve Hackett is one of them, and it's been several chapters long, and Steve's given a lot of information about things, and so the story about this album really is enlightening, how much fun they had. They were drinking a lot. You can tell, actually, in a good way, the way, made it a party. Highly strung. This is the one where it's like, I would cherry pick the instrumentals, the Steve Hackett's vocals, same with Cured. Good music, but it's like I definitely gravitate towards the instrumentals. This one where it goes to Brazil, interesting. Till We Have Faces, again, consistently very, very interesting, very good. Bay of Kings, primarily him on the acoustic guitar, nylon string. His technique is wonderful. Same here with Momentum. Love this music. couple singles, a doll that's made in Japan. More Steve Hackett. I think that's. Oh, and then this was given to me, I believe, by Gerald, a friend and a VC member. I think he watches the videos. He's in Hong Kong. I'm pretty sure, right, Gerald? He sent this to me. Blew me away. It's the Squacket, Chris Squire, and Steve Hackett, autographed by Steve Hackett. You know, I actually repaired it. Was you know, all split out the top, and I just said, heck with it. I got a magic marker. I love this album, Life Within a Day. Really appreciate this. Cell 151 on 12-inch 45 with some live stuff on the B-side, not on the album. My dog, Steve, happy birthday, 70. And he's out kicking it. He's been playing on the road consistently for a long time now. And then Anthony Ferraro. Now, Anthony, you share a birthday with Steve Hackett. Today is Anthony Ferraro's birthday. Anthony, happy birthday. Or at least it says it's his birthday on says it's your birthday on Facebook today. And you sent this to me, Steve Hackett Live, which I appreciate very much and actually still need to play. I've only played it once. And it's a sweetie. It's on brown of all things, brown vinyl. How's that? So I'll talk more about these records, but right quick, I want to just say a big thank you to everyone who have chimed in and congratulated me and about getting the Damo Suzuki gig. It really is a wonderful opportunity. To me, I'm keeping everything in perspective, and I want to share that because I feel very ready for these opportunities that have been coming my way. I'm not losing my head about anything. You know, the sweetest thing about any of these events that have taken place or are scheduled to take place is the mere fact that the events and the opportunities actually arose. That it's actually, you know, just the content of my thoughts, you know, what I'm, you know, thinking about these things that I'm up to, you know. It's just very gratifying, satisfying, and I'm very thankful. In social media, it's been amazing. On Facebook, I've heard from many different musicians from around the world who share that they have played with Damo in the way he does his thing. It's called Sound Carriers, as it turns out. And then I heard from Adele Schmidt, who does the Romantic Warriors series of progressive rock documentaries. I've reviewed them here. They're going to help promote it when the time comes in May on their website. All of this, you know, and then the stories from the musicians who have worked with them already. I appreciate it so much. They're very supportive and positive, and just what I thought, which is, you know, he's about music in the moment and not cheekily trying to recreate Can at all. Not at all. And I'm not into that at all. I love improvisation, so I'm just really looking forward to. And the thing about the band Indrima, okay, so the way this came about is the promoter who booked the show at Slowdown contacted Nick of Indrima, and in the message, because I got to see it, he said, well, I thought of Higgins at first, and then I realized that Indrima is active, and I thought, well, geez, that's even better, because the whole, if he had gotten a hold of me originally, then it would have been up to me to assemble a group of musicians. I'm in several bands. I'd have a lot of people to choose from. But what Indrima does, you know, and we're active and playing together is not perfect, but it's like we improvise, and I have these really strong musicians. Indrima is a bit of a local super group in a way. You know, I don't say that, I just allow myself to realize that, you know. The other players in Indrima are all involved and have just a real rich history. You know, even the guys that are really young. Cubby on guitar is just, he's primarily jazz, and he's a serious musician. Amazing technique already. And heart, he plays with so much. What a gift. So I just wanted to share again that this is just, I'm just really thankful and have a good perspective about this. You know, it's like no expectations. It's like the mere fact that these things are supposed to happen. It's like, it's a beautiful thing. And it all, you know, it just all comes from good things. Okay. So some records that I have out that I haven't played in a long time is, here's one, Camel, Mirage. And I bought this when it came out in 1974. Summer of 74, I was working down in Port Aransas, Texas for the summer. And I had several jobs down there. Crazy summer. That's where I bought this. Love this album. I had meant to show my other Sensation Spix records, and then I put them away. But they're sitting out because I had taken a picture. Excuse me. A picture to show. You know, I just bought this one. Really happy to get it. But here's Fragments of Light. Finest Finger. Here's another one where I just really love this cover. And the colors, that orange, just, and the, you know, juxtaposed with the other. Love that. Portable Madness. Very spacey music. Good stony, good music to get stoned to. I'll be real about that, okay? Just like they look in the picture. And Franco Falsini is my friend on Facebook. We have not had a long conversation, but we have said hello. I love that. I have the Cold Nose soundtrack. It's a solo album by Franco Falsini. This one is not rated by other people, and I don't get it. I think it's because these recordings have are lo-fi and they have buzz, like amp buzz. You know, it's like, how in the hell are you... But the tunes, I think, are great. Flying Tapes. This is one, actually, as I've had their albums over the years, this is one I've played a lot. Flying Tapes. And I do think it's underrated by people who say they like the band. I'd say listen to it again. And this one is hard to find. It's their American release. Small label, All Ears. Interesting label when it came out. Visions Fugitives. But I was following the band, so I knew about this when it came out, and so I made it a point to find a copy of it right away. So I bought this when it came out. Last one I have to show of theirs is Visions, Boxes Paradise, pardon me. This is another one I really rate highly. I just really like the band. So there those are. I have this out because I was showing it online, just enthusing about Can. This is my upgrade. I've still gotten my ring-worn high school copy. Just like Egg, it's, you know, it's well loved. You know, it's a work of art. The ringwear. You know, I made everybody listen to that. Interestingly, yesterday, I think this might be all I have to show. Maybe there might be a few more. As I was just basically having a private celebration here in the afternoon, interacting through the internet with the rest of the world about celebrating, particularly at this time, the Damo Suzuki connection. This album kept popping in my head as the right music to play to celebrate to, and sure enough, the whole album was just right for my mood. Herbie Hancock's Secrets, another album that perhaps is overlooked. I think maybe because of the cover. If I believe I'm getting this correct, this is about the time that Herbie had discovered crack. He's still making good music, but it's like he's starting to go through a period where, kind of like I think what Rod Stewart has gone through, he said, where I start to believe my own hype and I let the record company, influence me in ways that I wouldn't have otherwise if I wasn't so busy and on a hectic schedule and everything is coming at once. And I find myself using this drug to, at first I thought to help me cope, and the next thing you know, I'm hooked on it. That's through Hancock himself. I'm surmising, looking at the picture here. I may be wrong, but this is about, I'm betting this is about the time it just hit. I don't think the cover helped the sales. Oh, sorry, Herbie. Okay. I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to look at the time because it's the daytime and I can let this run for, if it takes 5 or 6 hours for the damn thing to upload, then so it does. Sometimes it does, especially now that I'm back on my old camera. But I will remark how deeply the grief runs in the music community worldwide for the passing of Lyle Mays. There's been some other people that I can't think of who've been posted who died. People are dying all the time, but I remarked about it online, and I'll try to say it here in my own, in other words. It's hard to lose our artists. They're like angels. They're like bringers of light. The ones where that's what they do. And Lyle Mays was definitely, his music was definitely full of love and light. While we are dealing with these ruthless, worthless, selfish greedheads who just won't go away and just are wrecking the party, hogging the ball. Every time you turn around, what you look at in the news, it's like it's some more horrendous thing where the laws are being changed or something's being done to pull the rug out from underneath the average and the poor, and to favor those who are all about making the dollar now, regardless of the long-term consequences. Did I say that well? Here's something I pulled I've had for a long time. The band was called the Mojo Men originally, and then the lady Jan joined, and they became Mojo. And this album is called Mojo Magic. I think it's 1968. This is pop. I think it's like really good. It's somewhere between like Spanky and Our Gang, Mamas and Papas, even kind of venturing. See, there's kind of it's poppy, but it's got a good rhythm. Some of the songs have good rhythm. And interestingly, Jan, the lead woman, Jan Erico, is Greg Erico's sister. Greg Erico, the drummer from Sly and the Family Stone. The white drummer who's been with them from the beginning, the funky-ass drummer, who I got to see playing with Weather Report, of all bands, the first time I saw Weather Report, and he kicked ass, with no complaints. Just kind of a quick aside about stupid morning bullshit, I could do an hour of this easily once a week, not even having to add any sort of entertaining bits. If I just let myself go, I could talk an hour easily. It appears to me that many of you really appreciate the longer I go. I was just thinking about that, you know what I mean? I could fill an hour easily on my own. This is killer Ice Cold Electronics, John Fox, Metamatic, the original singer and the originator of the band Ultravox. Oh man, this album is just got a singular sound. It's very icy and fantastic. Underpass! You ever heard that? John Fox. Bad motherfucker. Yeah, I listen to a lot of this, what you would call white music, but let's not get into that. I've been here long enough for you to understand. You know, I've been here carving a niche for myself since I was a boy through music. You know, this is my expertise. You know, some of the best not known about music around, especially where I live. As it turns out, I seem to. Anyway, Canadian band Kano Eclipse. There's one track on here in particular, Cercles de la Nuit, which is particularly beautiful, really stands out. And there are some other cuts on here where they get into the, I guess it's Canadian folk music, and it's really jolly, and it's like, you know, it's hard to relate to, you know. It's like probably if I were in the moment with the people and had the experience, it's like, oh, this is what this is about. I can sort of imagine it, you know what I'm saying? But this is a good album. Played this all the way through. Dreams. This is one that, again, just completely missed the boat as far as popularity, unfairly, you know. This was in the same wheelhouse, but on a higher... No. Chicago is just as good as Dreams, musically. But, you know, the chemistry of what Chicago was doing just really captured the moment. And yet, Dreams was right in there with Blood, Sweat, and Tears and Chicago and the horn band thing. And this is brilliant. This is their second album, Imagine My Surprise, with that beautiful cover by Gahan Wilson, the artist who recently passed. His work is well known. I think he was a regular in the New Yorker magazine. Billy Cobham still on the drums on this album. Pop, you know, it's R&B and pop mix, and really excellent. It just got missed. Like I say, I'm trying to not look at the time, but I'm at that time where I usually stop because I kind of feel it. But I got a few more records. I'm going to go until I'm done with the records that are here. Okay. Etc. by Wayne Shorter. This is I would call this kind of a breezy session. It's on Blue Note. Originally released 1980. This is a 2019 reissue. I mean, really high, heavy cardboard, 180 something gram. It just plays like butter. But it's a beautiful, not fiery session at all, but really musical, really good, really good. Somehow this album came up, and so I pulled it. I hadn't played it in ages, and it's one of those things that even more than how I could relate to it and understand it years ago, it really comes through how open, real, in the moment, and unpretentious this creation was, this music. The Music Improvisation Company, a very early record on the ECM label, number 5. This is number 5. And Dereck Bailey on guitar, Jamie Muir, the percussionist who famously was with King Crimson at that real fiery time, Lark's Tongues and Aspic, Evan Parker and Hugh Davies, Christine Jeffrey. This is deep listening because it really can't. On one level, it's just noise. But the thing is, when you take that filter away and just enter into the experience, some extraordinary things happen. There's one point here, I forget which side it is, but there's a long period of deep silence. And I thought to myself, I know the record's not over. And I wasn't looking at the turntable. The turntable's there, and a lot of times I listen like this, multitasking. And I said to myself, don't turn around. It's like, just, I know the record's not over, but this has been quiet for a long time. And then a sound very quietly emerged. I was like, whoa. You know, I mean, that is just so, I think, risky is one way to put it. And also just that open to what is happening, to just allow the silence to endure until it was time for sound to emerge again. That's really how it came off to me. Music Improvisation Company. Just a few more here. Yeah. Czar. This is a reissue of a 1970 British kind of psychedelic prog. It's like an underground masterpiece with this out-of-tune mellotron on it, which just in a very strange way adds to the charm. Tread softly on my dreams. What a track. Czar. This is one of those albums. The original is on the Fontana label, and when I see it on Discogs or Pop Psych, it's sold for $1,000+ It's like, wow, you know. But I don't know if I've ever seen a real copy ever, even back in the day. Maybe I did, don't remember it. Gunther Hampel from Germany. This is one of his first albums on his label. 8th of July, 1969, with Gene Lee and Anthony Braxton and these other amazing people. This is just deep and dope. Haven't played it forever. I've had it for a long time, so that's why it looks like this. I've had it since the 70s. And this is free jazz of the highest order. Last thing I have to show, Sigmund Snowpick III. I think he's from the Midwest, Wisconsin possibly. This is really good. It's Roy Rogers meets Albert Einstein. You know, there's a bit of hokum mixed in with the music, which is entertaining. But his compositions and his playing are brilliant. I understand that he's done all kinds of work with people as varied as Violent Femmes. Really good. Folks, I'm going to bow out here. Keep it on the upside.